and if you're not in a market where it's like, I'll waive all inspections, 3 weeks close, if that's not going to continue on, you're sort of caught with your pants down. I have a $2 million portfolio, and it's like, you owe the bank a ton of money. Mm-hmm. The market shifts down, you have a lot less money than you think you do.
We got Dietrich with $25. Hey, Nick and Chris, I have a 1948 concrete house in Florida. Need new AC vents, etc. AC guy wants to do a permit. Should I?
Yeah.
Or is that a Pandora's box?
No.
Just had new electric too, unpermitted.
What's your exit strategy on this house, brother? If you're planning on getting big money for this house, you want permits. You know, if you're not in a hot market, that's when people start to scrutinize. You know what I mean? Like these markets where like deals used to fall apart when the inspectors would come in and say, "Who the fuck wired this thing?" You know, there's no permits pulled and there's new wires. So how did that get there? And you can still sell the house. It's not going to like necessarily hold up a sale completely, but it could. And oftentimes it does. And if you're not in a market where it's like, I'll waive all inspections, 3 weeks close, if that's not going to continue on, you're sort of caught with your pants down. So you can only do that for so long, and it's something to think about. Like if you're just like kind of trying to get through something and it's not that bad, and you're just like, I need to move X, Y, and Z, then go for it. But as far as like getting the money for it, especially in the old stuff, I like the biggest sell for me as a liker of 1948 concrete houses is the masterful mechanical system that you install on top of it. Show off there because you can't show off in anything else. You can't show off in the siding. You can kind of show off in the windows and the appliances, but there's not really many ways for you to kind of flex because the house is kind of dictated by like this house, right? There's not that much, but mechanical is one that you can. Mechanical and you know, camera and tech and whatnot. So I would flex on it and do it the right way. And that electrical thing could come back and haunt you. You know what I mean? You got to pray and hope that the guy did it right and he's not pulling a permit is not a nightmare. If you tend on doing the right, it's not the worst thing. And sometimes when you go to cash out and you need to sort of count your little badges, I'm like, I went to the town and I did it the right way. Look, I went to the town and I did it the right way. That will matter at certain times in the real estate market. It just happens to not matter when most of you are like people are just like waiving inspections and shit like that. So just think about that. You know what I mean? Some stuff's not going to squeeze, especially if it's work. You know, you just don't want to get in the habit of allowing work to happen on your house. It's just problems. You don't need it. And why learn backwards?
Jim the Cat Jimbo with $25. Hi Nick, me and my brother are looking to build a duplex with 2 bedroom, 2 bath each side for $250K total in cash in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Do you think it's possible to get this build at this price?
Why do you think you can build for $250,000? Are you guys framers? And if so, I hope so.
Also, feel free to on our ideas.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's approved. If it's approved for a 2, is it approved for a 3? If you can do that and you pull that off, call me and let me know what you're looking at. I mean, I know you guys surveying costs. If it's not deemed as a 2, you're gonna have to get it there's a $6,000 bill there for you to get that water sewer tie-ins. What's that look like? Where's the poo-poo go? Where's the pee-pee go? Where's the water come from? Where's the juice come from? The electrical come from?
Pee-pee.
What's going on? What's that thing look like frame-wise? Can you complete the majority of the work yourselves? Do you need other people? I hope not. Because if you can frame, then you can do everything else for the most part. You know what I mean? If you can frame, then you can roof. I don't think you're nuts. 2 bedroom, 2 bath is a good idea as far as bed bath count. 3 bed, 2 bath, even better. Why not? More bedrooms, the more rent. It's kind of stupid, but I get it. You want them to be nice. Go for it. I don't think you're going to be able, I think you'd be close, even at like back in the day numbers.
Michael with 25 Canadian flipped a decomp trailer in 2 months with your advice. Trying to get the bank to remortgage so I can get the next one. Any advice with that? I'm thinking paying a $3K penalty is worth to access $30 to $40K equity, renovation debt $15K, 9% APR.
Yeah. You're going to have to work fast and don't overextend yourself. Aren't there specific companies for mortgage on trailer? On like specialty shit like that in Florida specifically, you're gonna have to pay premiums. This kind of comes with the territory of any like people like oh yeah, you can build a house. Like any alternative dwelling, you're gonna have some sort of like alternative financing. You're best just finding the best. Honestly, mortgage brokers are like whores, so you can call them up and be like, I'm having such a tough time with all these other banks considering a trailer or a real home. And he's like, that's what we specialize here in Heritage Bank.
Yeah.
Shopping lenders and getting really good at it. There's got to be specific. Look them up and find them. But I would, if it's working and your math is working and you're able to rent out, keep your eye on that 10%, right? I mean, you're paying a 3% premium over what normal people are paying, but normal people are not putting themselves in equity. I'm sure people are staying away from these sort of things. So if you found a niche in that, yeah, I mean, you're getting into that like I don't like the people who do the Grant Cardone where they're like, yeah, leverage and then leverage and then leverage and then leverage, like just constantly leverage and leverage and leverage. If the market shifts a point, you're just underwater all over. So just keep that in mind. I mean, that has to be said to you once. These people are like, yeah, and then you got your money back out. You still have a huge mortgage on the first one. You're drowning your equity in your first investment, right? What he's talking about is like you buy a house for whatever under the market. Under the market, you fix it up, you do the right thing. You buy it for 150, it's worth 250. Cool, I'll go get a loan for 235. What if the house that you just did, and then you got your 85 grand back, right? You only owe 150, right? You have your 85, you put it back, you go do it again. No problem. What if the market shifts, a little bit? Now that 250 house is worth 210 or something like that. So it's you got to be like in and out and quick and nimble, and really think hard about getting off properties and using your own money. Especially when the market's kind of like that. If you're heading towards a 16-month brick wall, which I have to see, there's going to be a little bit of a drop. Mortgage rates are drying up. You can't expect no turmoil during an election year. You just can't. It's just foolish to think that everything's just going to be smooth. And economic uncertainty, layoffs are kind of kicking up. So to trudge into a market on margin is not the smartest thing to do. I say that as I'm building a house, but I'm serving an underbuilt area. So every area is not the same. All areas of the country are not built the same. But no one's building houses in my region. That's why I'm building a house. If no one's doing what you're doing, continue on what you're doing. But if there's a lot of players in the game and stuff is sitting and it's not turning, then I would not be like heading into the abyss on margin and borrowing money to like, being nimble and having a plan on how to exit each one, and not just think it's like this. It'll come out in the wash. That's how people get fucked up. People just keep buying on margin and keep buying on margin. Like, I have a $2 million portfolio, and it's like you owe the bank a ton of money. The market shifts down, you have a lot less money than you think you do. Please, and if your rent's not going to cover, and there's a million rentals, just keep your eye on all of that. It's not just like this dream sequence of like free money to keep going. A little bit is, but it has to be super responsible. And honestly, take less than you need and have a secondary income source other than the house flipping to pour into it, and then think of it as an investment. Because if you all the income into the next project is on margin, you're going to get